The guest that we have on today's show, Winn Claybaugh, is the dean and co-founder of Paul Mitchell Schools. He's an author, public speaker, and a successful businessman for, several decades. This guy has done so much. He has so many connections. So I want to welcome to the show a great guy. This is going to be a fun interview. We had a lot of pre-show conversation. It was a blast. Winn, welcome to Start with a Win.
Oh, thank you, Adam and Mark. It's really a pleasure to be here. I don't take this time for granted, so thanks for having me.
You mentioned a few times like enthusiasm and success and things like that. And I know those are foundational aspects of your organization, of Paul Mitchell Schools and of the salons. Can you give us a little bit of insight? What kind of got you into that mindset? A lot of people are like, oh, I'm kind of down on myself or, the community or whatever. How do you make that switch to seek enthusiasm and success for an organization to be a great part of a community?
So it's a great question. First of all, whenever we start talking about leadership, and I know that you talk a lot about this in your podcast, the majority of people tune out. They're like, well, I'm not a leader. I don't have that title. I don't have that power. And what we all have to realize and remember is that leadership is not about a title. Leadership is an attitude. In fact, my definition of leadership is someone who has influence over another human being. So with that definition, all of us are leaders. And sometimes people think that, well, I have to have the title before I can then make a difference, before I can then have that influence. And my message to everybody is it doesn't matter how long you've been with your company, with your organization, doesn't matter how long you've lived in your neighborhood or attending that school, you have influence, which makes you a leader. And so let's start studying and learning what that means to have influence with other people. Not sure how much time we have here, but three basic human needs of what people are looking for. They're looking for a place where they feel safe. They are looking for a place where they belong. And they're looking for a place where they feel like they have a purpose, where they're making a difference. And so addressing those three basic human needs is important in any organization. And where does that all start? It starts with us. It starts with every single individual having that personal commitment.
Some gold there. Make sure everybody, you rewind that and listen to that. Take down those three basic human needs, because those are incredibly important. You look at Maslow's hierarchy of needs, and that's, we all live on that pyramid. So, listen to what Winn's saying here. Winn, I'm going to ask you a question that I ask everybody, but I'm going to ask it a little bit different, because we went through your day. We went through some of the things that you do to build success in your life. And usually I ask everybody, how do you start your day with a win? But you know what? We know how you win. And in your life, I want to hear one recommendation that you have for everybody that they can accomplish each day in order to start their day with a win. Winn, what do you have to tell them to do to start with a win?
Gosh, you have good questions. Couple of things come to mind. I remember years ago sitting in a seminar with one of my favorite mentors, Og Mandino, who has since passed away, but he wrote, Og Mandino, I asked the question, 1,000 people in the audience, and I raised my hand and he calls on me. And so I stand up and he, what's your question? And I said, if you had one piece of advice to help all of us become more successful, what would that one piece of advice be? And he thought for a bit. And then he said, just imagine that every person that you come into contact with is wearing a little label that says, make me feel important. Make me feel important. Oh my gosh, if we did that with our children, make me feel important, Dad. If we did that with our customers, with our team members, with everybody that we come into contact with, make me feel important. And so I really feel, especially now, right now, with everything happening on this planet, with the pandemic, with the social unrest, that what's missing is hope. There's a lot of fear. And I think that the opposite of fear, or how we address that fear, is by selling hope. It's our job. And I consider this my job every single day. I need to sell hope, because people can be down and out in every way possible. But if there's a little tiny glimmer of hope, then we have a chance. And so I believe that my job is to sell hope. And how I give that to myself is through gratitude. So to answer this with a very long answer, gratitude. I have a little note sitting on my computer. You can't see it, but it's a little note sitting right here that reminds me every single day that the first email that I send out, the first text message that I send out every single day is one of gratitude. I'm reaching out to somebody just randomly and I'm showing gratitude, because when I do that, what I give to myself, the gift to myself is that, okay, I have a little hope. I'm focusing on what's working in my life. I have a little bit of hope, and now I can turn around and share that with other people.
Amazing. Winn Claybaugh, a huge amount of gratitude to you, my friend. I mean, this has just been so enriching. This conversation has brought me up a couple levels in my love and gratitude today. So thank you so much for being with us on Start With Winn. Everybody, make sure you check out Winn and his book, Be Nice or Else. Winn is the dean and co-founder of Paul Mitchell Schools. Amazing human being, great businessman, and incredible motivator. Winn, thank you for starting with a win.